Hello, magical ones. Welcome to the Faerie Witch vlog. I'm the Faerie Witch. Today we are going to do another craft for you, another fairy art episode. So I welcome you. If you are brand new to the channel, or if you're a subscriber, or if you've just returning to watch and see, I welcome all of you, and I thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch this. I hope that you'll be inspired to do some of these this project of your own, and help you connect with the fairies a little bit. And the holidays coming up, which are pretty close, this project will make a great item to work on. So you can do them with your kids, and or just any age group, whatever works, and we'll get into it. So for those of you who are brand new to the channel and you don't know what's going on, I'm a knitter, I'm a teacher, I'm an artist, I'm a designer, kind of a novice gardener, novice baker, and I'm definitely a two-time certified fairyologist, and I'm a certified cat trainer. So you never know what you're going to get on this channel, and you never know when you're going to get it. I don't stick to a schedule, and I try to keep everything kind of fairy related, but you just don't know what you're going to get. And I like that kind of aspect. I like it that I can surprise you, or at least do my best to surprise you in a positive way. So, so today I hope that you will enjoy this project, and I'm going to set up a little workstation here, and I will get back to you in a few minutes. Okay, so what the project is today is we are going to be making fairy cards. And this project is great for any holiday, any celebration, Fairy Day, birthdays, anniversary, Christmas, Valentine's Day, any of the holidays, any of these special occasions, and you're making your own cards. So this is a pack I've made before, and I've held on to them. So I'm going to show you some examples. And each side, I did each side, which is an option, or you could just do the front. It just depends how much you want to do. Like I say here, you open it up, so you got both panels, and then it's blank on the inside, so you can write or draw any of your messages or whatever. So yeah, here's some examples of different ones that I did. And each side, of course, is different. There really isn't a way for you to plan this out. You just kind of have to see how it goes. But I'm going to show you some different ones here. So each side, of course, like I say, is unique. It's different. And that one ended up being blank. Here's a couple more. So what you can do, now what I did with these cards is these are pre-made, store-bought, just blank cards. So you can buy these at the art stores, you can buy them at the craft stores, maybe even a stationery store, and they come with their own envelopes. So everything is already done and already ready for you. All you just got to do is, add all the color, add the painting to them. That is the simplest way of doing it. Here's another one. Okay. And they came, like I say, with their own envelopes. So it's a pre-made box. Now, I don't have another box of blank cards to actually work on them with you today. So I'm going to show you how to do this completely from scratch. So, granted, keep in mind this whole process can be very messy. So especially if you're going to work with kids and make this project, which is a cute idea. I have recommended it to a couple of schools. I knew a couple of ladies who worked at daycare at elementary school, and they were always looking for new things to keep the kids engaged, and keep them busy and, have something that they could take home. So this makes a great art project. It's just, it can be messy. So if you're going to especially do it with children, you might want to invest in, over raincoats that are washable, or gloves for sure, or just aprons. Get like those plastic covered aprons or something that can be washed, because even though you're using water-based paints, it's still going to get messy. So anyway, I'm roughing it. I'm gonna rough it today. Um, yeah, this could be messy, but then again, I've done this a number of times. You'd think I'd have a handle on it. Anyhow, let's give it a shot, right? So, what you're gonna need is a package of blank cards and envelopes. If you don't have that and you want to rough it like I am, okay, that's fine. A couple options here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use watercolor paper, because watercolor paper is formulated to handle watercolors, which is really wet. It's wetter than acrylics. It's wetter than, craft paint and that sort of thing. So that's a good one to use because it's got some girth. It's got some teeth to it. It'll grip better and the water will soak in better. So I'm going to use that. That's what I've got. And it's, like I say, it's okay for wetter paint. And then what you need is either, you got some options here. You either want to use an old metal baking sheet, or no, not baking sheet, a baking pan, that has the sides on them. If you're going to use a baking pan, keep in mind that you should always just keep that baking pan for these kinds of projects. I wouldn't recommend using them for your baking or your cooking after that, because you're going to be working with shaving cream and you're going to be working with paint. If you don't have a baking pan that you want to reserve for that purpose, you could buy one of those aluminum turkey cooking pans, the aluminum ones that are at the dollar store. You don't have to get a gigantic one. It can just be, big enough for your card, because you only do one card at a time, so you don't need a huge big one. You just need one that, you can work with. I don't have either one of those available, so I'm using a cardboard box top, and because it's got the nice sides, it's not too huge. And then I'm going to line it. I'm going to line it with aluminum foil. You can use wax paper, you can use plastic wrap, or you can use aluminum foil. So I'm going to line this and put it all along, just kind of fold it over the sides. And then we're going to grab our other items and we're going to start, okay? So let me go grab this couple other things and I'll rejoin you. Okay, so I've grabbed my can of shaving cream. Now you can get these at the dollar store or your grocery store. Just buy the cheapest brand you can get, but you want the foam. I have to say that again. You want the foam, not the gel. The shaving gel is not going to work. You want the shaving foam, okay? So we got that, and then we're going to grab a few paints. Actually, I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so let's sprinkle a little fairy dust and see what we can conjure up, okay? So what we're going to do is going to take a piece of the watercolor paper. Now keep in mind that if you're doing this from scratch and you want to use envelopes, you need to have your envelope already. So you can buy, blank envelopes. Pretty much from any, store like Walmart or the dollar store sometimes have them. Just make sure you get the right size because letter size most likely isn't going to work. You want a greeting card size envelope. So when you're making them from scratch like I'm going to do, you have to think about what size your envelope is. So you need the envelope first. That way you can size it because you're going to cut down your paper. So I'm going to get this piece off here. There we go. Okay, so I got my watercolor paper. And I'm not going to use an envelope myself, so I'm not going to make that today. But again, like I say, if you have your envelopes ready first, then you can size the card of how you want to cut it. So I'm just going to cut this in half here, like so. And then that way, I have my card. Then I can just fold it over when I'm ready. And I think I probably will do that now. So I'm just folding it in half. Okay, and I have my card. So and you decide if you want to do it this way or if you want to do it like this. I think I'm going to do it this way, a standard card. Okay, there we go. All right, so next thing is I've got to line the box. So I'm going to lower this down so you can start seeing all the steps. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to line my cardboard box here. So I'm going to just pull it out, kind of press it in. I just want to make sure that I have enough to cover the sides. Okay. Trim it off. Okay. That's good. That'll work. That'll work. Alright, so next step. You're going to take your shaving cream and shake it up. And then you're just going to put a thin layer on the bottom of your whatever it is you're using, whatever tray. Whee! Now it looks like snow. Told you this is going to be messy. Okay, so then the next step is you're going to take some paint. Now you can use little craft paints like this, or you could use watered down acrylics, or you can use the bigger bottles of poster paint. They actually call it poster paint. You buy it. I think Walmart carries it, but you can also get it at craft stores and a lot. It's supposed to be for, big posters and that kind of thing. A lot of the schools use similar stuff to that. Since I don't have any of those bottles, I'm going to use these little guys because this is what I got. So I picked out some kind of spring colors here. Since this is going to be my little Christmas card to a friend of mine for Christmas, but I am doing spring colors because I want to do the fairy image. So hopefully these guys will drip out onto the shaving cream. If they don't, I'm going to have to open them up and pour, but very carefully. So let's see if they will work, because sometimes they get stuffed up in their little nozzle and don't want to leak out. So, yep, this one don't want to do it. So, we're going to do it this way. Just be careful. You don't want to overdo. Of course, it helps if it would come out. Come on, you blasted thing. There we go. Whoop! A big splodge. So just kind of move it around a little bit as best you can. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Nope, too much, too much. Oh, bloody hell. Alright. Well, we're going to do the best we can. Alright, I'm going to grab the pink. Let's see if that one works. Oh, come on, nozzles. We don't wanna do it. Okay, this one, at least I can sprinkle it out. Okay. Guess I'm gonna need to invest in more new paint. These guys are just old and they don't wanna work. This orange, oh, you're a little watery. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay. And then a little bit of blue. And you can use as many colors as you want. Just keep in mind that if you do use a lot of color, it could get kind of muddy. It could look a little muddy. And that might not be the look you're going for. So, like I say, play around with it first. You know, you just use a piece of blank paper. You know, it can be any kind of scratch paper or whatever. Try it out. Try this whole technique out first. That way you can play with it. That way you can play with it, test it, see how you like it. And then you'll be a little more prepared for when you're ready to do the actual project. Oh, come on. Yes, I definitely need new paint. Come on. It's coming. It's stuck. There we go. A little bit. Okay, we're going to have to just rough it because it doesn't want to cooperate. Shocker there. Just my lick. Okay, so we have all these little splotches on top of the shaving cream. So then you're going to take your paper, your card, depending on what stage you're at, and I'll probably do both sides just to show you. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the paper, your card, and you're going to press it down on top of the shaving cream with the paint. You don't have to do heavy. You don't have to flatten it because it's going to go all over the place. So be careful. You're just pressing it lightly onto it. I'm just tapping. Then you pull it up. And so see, we've got some color. You're going to have a lot of shaving cream on the paper, and that's okay. That's what's going to happen. So that's kind of like, it kind of makes like a little confetti looking look here. And I think I'm going to do a little more. So what I'm going to do is this time I'm going to press it down, but I'm going to drag the card across. That picks up more paint. That makes a different look. See? Like that. Okay. It's still kind of confetti because I didn't get the whole thing. So, let's keep going. So I'm going to press it down again. Whoop. Oopsie daisy. I got more. Okay. It's really wet. It's really wet. All right. So, it's got more orange on it though. It definitely has more orange on it. So it lost some of the pink, it lost some of the blue, but it's still in there. It still is really lightly in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. Try not to get my fingers in it. I'm going to press and pull and drag. Okay, got a little bit. I'm going to do it again. And up. Whee! Okay, so now we have both sides. Okay, now this, like I said, it's messy. This is wet. The card is already starting to fold into itself. So what I would do is, as soon as I'm done with it, and I think at this point it's done. So what I'm going to do is I would take this, my aluminum foil, out of the box. Or pan, whatever you're using. And then I'm going to lay this inside. Okay? And you just lay it in there. And this is going to have to dry. It's got to completely dry up. Okay? So I need to put it, especially somewhere where it's not going to be moved, it's not going to be touched, and preferably, like if you put it on a windowsill where the sun can bake it, that would be great. That would be a good idea and help dry it faster. So this card is probably going to have to at least dry for at least 24 hours. You can use a hair dryer on it to make it dry quicker. But generally I just leave it alone and just leave it out. So then once the card is completely done, then again, like I say, you're going to end up with your card similar to this, okay? So then what you do is you're going to gently, very gently, take your finger and just wipe it down, because you're gonna, that will take whatever's shaving cream has dried on but didn't completely absorb. You're gonna flake it off. Now it may take off some of the paint like it did on this one, but it can make some really cool designs as well by doing that. So you just need to wipe off the excess, and it's gonna flake off. It's gonna flake off. So it's gonna be messy. Just hold it over a trash bag or trash can or something and just wipe it off and make sure everything is dry. And that's, you're going to make sure it's dry before you do it. Then actually some of it, because some of it can make some textures that you can actually feel. It's kind of cool. I mean, it makes it feel kind of rough, and then it's smooth and it gets rough again. You don't know what's going to happen. You can't plan ahead. You really can't. All you can do is pick out the colors of paint you want to use and hope it comes out the way you want it. But that's the one thing about this, is you're creating artwork that you just don't know how it's going to turn out, what you're going to get, what kind of pattern you're going to get. But believe me, each one is going to be unique. Each one's going to be different, and you're going to get addicted to this project, because even though it can be messy, it's fun, it's cool, it's inspiring, and it's getting your artistic, mojo going. And plus, too, I mean, you're making fairy cards, so you can connect to the fairies, because they love creative projects, they love color, they love things that, like kind of magical. So you're taking a blank card and you're turning it into artwork within only a couple minutes. I mean, that's quite something, and that will get a fairy's attention. So you can actually, do this as a way to attract them or connect to them. You can add like a magical spell to these as you're making them, or when you get the whole box done, if you're going to give them to a friend or family member, you could give them the whole box as a present. You can add like your little enchanted spell. You could draw little sigils. You could draw a little sigil in there before you put the paint on. So again, there's another little magical aspect of the project you can do. to help them with good health or good luck or prosperity for the, whatever occasion you're presenting these for. So yeah, I mean, you can add your magical spells to them as you're making them or after they're finished, either way, or both. So again, this is a great little project for any age group. And like I say, just I managed not to make a big mess today, which is great. So I mean, sometimes you luck out, and other times you could end up with everything all over the place. So again, cover your table with a tablecloth you can wash or one you're going to throw away. Paper dollar store paper one or something. You could wear artist smock or gloves or aprons or whatever, just to be careful, especially if you're going to do it with children. But it's a great project. It makes some wonderful artwork, some wonderful things you can really enjoy, and the fairies will like it. And I'm sure whoever you present these to, or just use them as stationery to send off to anybody whenever you need them throughout the year, you know, that way you can add your magical meanings to them, or spells to them, or your sigils to them, and hopefully that will be a benefit to whomever you're gifting them to. So, yeah. So that is the fairy cards. Like I say, that's pretty much it. I think I've remembered every step. I'm trying to remember. I think that's pretty much every step. Yeah, like I say, you just want to make sure that your your wet cards dry completely. So give it at least 24 hours, and check it. And if you could put, like I say, if you can put it in the sun, that'll help dry the shaving cream quicker. And don't wipe anything off at this point. You might feel, oh, well, that shaving cream, I need to get that off. Don't take it off. You need it, because as it dries, it's going to absorb into the card. It's going to take the paint with it, and some of it will be on there, and some of it may come off when you do the flaking off step. But either way, it's going to create this really cool artistic look. And then once it's completely dry, if you want to add more paint to it, take a paintbrush and paint over it, or add more paint to it. You could do that. You can add to it. I don't recommend using stamps or stickers because they don't stick. They won't stick to the surface once it's dry. You'd have to glue everything on. And if you want to do that, that's fine. Just be prepared. You're going to have some Elmer's glue or glue stick. No, the glue stick won't work either. You need Elmer's white drip-on glue. And then you could add stickers. You could add, little stamp cards. You could do collage, so you could add pictures from magazines or whatever on there. I mean, you could really make this really elaborate, or you can keep it really simple. It's up to you how you want to do it. But those are some of the recommendations I would say based on what I've done in the past and the different projects I've done. And like I say, it gets people's attention. They like them because it's so fascinating. And they're like, how did you do that? And it's up to you if you want to pass on this video and tell them, or if you just want to keep it secret. But either way, it's a great project. And I hope that you have lots of success making your fairy greeting cards. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope you found this inspiring for you. And I hope that your fairy cards come out great, that you enjoy doing the process, and you can, like I say, you can make them all the time. You can have real fun with them. So, enjoy your fairy cards. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like the video if you did. Feel free to donate to our PayPal link, which is listed above all these videos right below the channel name. And I really appreciate it if you do that, especially during this holiday season, which is really rough for us right now. And that would be fantastic. The fairies would thank you. We would thank you. All our kitties here would thank you. And we hope that you will have a really great fairy day. Happy holidays. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.